Hi guys, welcome back to the Homespun Annie channel. So once again in this ASMR video, I am going to do a magazine flip through, and this time it's going to be Victoria magazine. Now, I had completely forgotten that I had subscribed to this magazine, and I literally subscribed probably 3 months ago, if not longer, and then completely forgot that I had subscribed because it had been so long. And so when I went out to the mailbox the other day and saw this magazine, I was very pleasantly surprised. So it was like I had sent myself a little surprise. Anyway, so yeah, I thought for tonight's ASMR video, we would do another magazine flip through, which seems to be a trend at this point. Now this week, so this coming Saturday, July 20th, is my mom's memorial service. And so I'm still putting out some videos this week. I'll put a video out today, Wednesday is when this video will come out, and then my regular video on Sunday. But even that one's going to be pretty simple, a little bit more of a simple video, just because there is a lot going on this week. So yeah, this weekend is her memorial service. We have family coming into town and all of that. So anyway, I'm doing okay right now, but I know that I think once we get to the actual memorial service, there's just going to be a lot of emotions and feelings, and it's going to be so good to see family, but it's also, I think, going to kind of, I don't know, maybe kind of make it a little more real, maybe. I don't know if that's the right word, but anyway, if you've been here, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is actually the May-June edition of Victoria magazine. This one is called French Dreams, Gallic Sojourns, Chateau and Signature Fair. Now, I'm not necessarily like, the type of style that's in this magazine isn't necessarily my style. I would not decorate my home completely like you would see in Victoria magazine. But there are aspects that I really love. And so, yeah. Plus, it's just a very beautiful magazine. And I read, because I know for a while they were no longer printing it for a few years. So it started in 1987 and then went to, I believe, 2003. And then from 2003 to 2007, they weren't printing it anymore. And then in 2007, I could be wrong, but it's like someone bought the magazine or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but they started printing it again. And I don't know if you remember, but back then I remember it being called Victoria Bliss. So if we go back to the cover, there would have been the word bliss right up here. And so I remember it being called Victoria Bliss. And I never had a subscription to it way back when. But I remember when I was 17, I went and spent half a summer in Ukraine. And one of the girls that came with me, she brought several Victoria Bliss magazines. And this would have been in 2001. And she just brought some, for reading in the airports and on the planes and just during our downtime. And so I remember flipping through her Victoria Bliss magazines and absolutely loving it. But like I said, I just never got a subscription. So anyway, now I have a subscription. So with this magazine, there is a lot of writing, which is really cool, actually. It's really nice. So you're not getting too bombarded with advertisements, but anyway, okay. So Charmed by Beauty. Delftware is deeply connected to the narrative of sugar production and flower arranging. It is no surprise then that I have an addiction to blue and white pottery, a condition from which I hope to never recover. Delftware is one of the most unique styles of pottery to have emerged from Europe. And these bouquets are just gorgeous. So what this reminds me of, like the blue and the white, is I went actually on that trip to Ukraine. We had a couple layovers there and back in Amsterdam, and all of the blue and white, I don't know if you'd call it pottery, but that kind of traditional Dutch blue and white was everywhere. And of course I bought some souvenirs for family members, including a tablecloth for my mom that it was the blue and white, and it has pictures of the windmills. I have drawings of the windmills on them. So, but I also love Delft tile, and that was my first introduction to Delftware. Was the tile, was just seeing articles about old homes that had Delft tile just around like the fireplaces and stuff like that. And then of course I saw it on some YouTube videos and fixer-upper shows, and it's just a very beautiful pottery. And of course everyone would love to have Delftware. Well, not everyone, but I personally would love to have Delft tiles. But of course they're not made anymore. And so they're hard to come by and very expensive. But anyway, okay. Graceful treasures. In May, our hearts turn to mothers whose gentle touch and femininity leave indelible imprints. Brimming with florals and elegant themes, our collection is reminiscent of beloved maternal figures. So one thing about my mom, she was not a girly girl, is what I would describe it as. She was very much a tomboy. And so there were, she didn't have a lot of frilly things or anything like that in our house. But she did have some nice things. Like, I remember like a really nice couch that we had, and then of course some of her her nice dishes. But for the most part, she was, not very frilly. And even, she would usually just wear a white t-shirt and jeans. Like that's what she wore. And that was her go-to. So, but I do remember she rarely wore makeup, but when she did, I remember I loved watching her put on makeup. So, she and I were very different in that area. Not that I wear a ton of makeup, but I'm just definitely more, I like a lot more of the pretty things, and not that she didn't like pretty things, but you know what I mean. She was just more just nice, and she liked things just simple and plain. That was just how she liked it. And I definitely love color and texture and flowers, and I don't know, yeah. And then I do wear makeup more often than she did. Anyway, so here's some pretty little tea sets. What lovely bouquets will be created on a dreamy desk overlooking botanical prints from Brook and Lou hung on Thibaut Bethany wallpaper. Unconventional vessels are found in terrains such as I cannot pronounce that. It's French. These are very pretty. I love these terrains. Very pretty. Days of, is it Dinan or Denon? I'm gonna say Dinan. But a sense of enchantment envelops the history-rich village of Dinan. What was once a fortified stronghold and home to the Dukes of Brittany is now a charming getaway, brimming with culture and postcard-worthy backdrops. So this is Dinan in Brittany. Very cool. You can see this building looks medieval, and I'm guessing it is. Creperie. Very pretty. Cradled by ancient ramparts, Dinan rises on a hilltop in the northwest corner of France. Clusters of half-timbered abodes, accessorized with vibrant shutters and blossoming flower boxes, mingle with medieval relics, from an array of military towers to a romantic 14th century castle. Brittany officially became part of the country in 1532, but the region retains a distinguishable personality. I think maybe I've mentioned before that one of the things I love watching on YouTube are videos of tours of, really, really old homes, but also just like, medieval homes and castles and just really cool places like that. Charm abounds around every corner of this riverside village, where harbored sailboats gently rock against the quay and historic buildings whisper of their storied past. Shopping is a must in this French destination, as artisans and antique dealers open their doors to those in search of treasures to remember a destination that will live in hearts forevermore. I think that says, I can't read that word. I don't know what that word is, but it's something with glee. Bloom, not bloom. Is it bloom? No. I cannot figure out what that word is. Oh well. Celebrate the peak of seasonal splendor with a fete that revives the nostalgic charm of May Day, a nearly forgotten festival that was considered a rite of spring in 18th and 19th century America. That's so funny because I was actually this last May, on May 1st, I just randomly remembered that there was a couple times as a kid when and I can't remember who it was with. I don't think it was my mom. I want to say it was like a family friend, where we did May Day, where we took flowers and like little potted plants, little potted flowers, and left them on people's front porch, and we would knock and run away. And I remember just that memory popped into my head this last May. And so it was something I was thinking about, that, man, that's such a fun, sweet tradition that you'd never hear about anymore. And wouldn't it be so fun if we started doing that again? And so part of me is like, you know what? I'm going to do that with Lucy. Like, I really want to do that with Lucy. And actually do May Day and go on May 1st and drop flowers off on our friends' doorsteps and on our neighbors' doorsteps. And leave them flowers on May Day. The world's favorite season is the spring. All things seem possible in May. Among the changing months, May stands confessed, the sweetest and in fairest colors dressed. So here it's just like this lovely little May Day party that they're having with all sorts of pretty things. But anyway, I really think we should all start celebrating May Day and take flowers to our friends and our neighbors. And I just remember you leave them on their doorstep, but you don't talk to them or say hi. You literally knock on the door and you run away. Which I know that now that'd be kind of, I don't know if that would, it'd be fun. I think it'd be really fun. So I think I'm probably going to try it at some point. I'll have to put a reminder in my calendar for next May 1st that I'm going to do that. Every man has two countries, his own and France. John F. Kennedy. A bridge into history. During the time when the Loire Valley was the playground of French royalty, little palaces rose to prominence throughout the region, each one leaving a lasting impression on its owners' hearts. In the case of Chateau de Chenonceau, the lineage of stewards who shaped its existence is almost exclusively female. Above and below left, the Francis I salon boasts intricate artwork, such as an allegorical painting of Gabriel d'Estrées, who briefly stewarded Chateau de Chenonceau. Inset, here the emblem of Catherine de Medici is inscribed above a fireplace. Opposite, find warmth in the chamber of Caesar de Vendôme, who retreated here amid political turmoil. Wow, that is quite the bedroom, I have to say. Oh my goodness, look at this room. There's so much pottery. This bedroom is known as the Chamber of Five Queens. So this is the Chamber of Five Queens, a tribute to the daughters and daughters-in-law of Catherine de Medici. The Queen Mother, as she was during her time, put great effort into adorning the interiors with fine wall tapestries, painted ceilings, stained glass windows, and much more. Though many people saw the estate as too small, it was Catherine's favorite chateau, and she longed to make it a formal royal residence. So below left, right here, behind the altar in the chapel, a staircase descends toward an unfinished crypt designed by Madame Pelouse, who wished to rest there. Interesting. Above left, so right here, viewed from the gardens, which were first created by Diane de Poitiers, the exterior of Chenonceau boasts fascinating architecture, a mixture between late Gothic and early Renaissance styles. Below left, the chateau's carved entrance bears an inscription honoring the rulers at the time of its construction, King Francis I and Queen Claude. The Maid of Orleans. Obviously, we would say Orleans in English, but extolled in the annals of French history for her rally against English forces, Joan of Arc is a symbol of courage and devotion, celebrated by her country for her victory in a battle and unyielding faith. So on the riverbanks of the Vienne in France, remains of the once grand Chateau de Chinon stand. In 1429, the royal fortress witnessed the first meeting between Joan of Arc and France's future king, Charles VII, in which she persuaded him of her mission to stand against the English army. Lots of stained glass. Joan of Arc's valiant acts in the 100 Years' War inspired beautiful works of art over centuries. French artist and printmaker Abraham Bosse rendered this etching of the maiden liberating her country shown center, while a fearsome portrait of Joan hangs in the Hotel Groslow above left. Here. And an imposing statue of the maid bearing a sword stands outside the entrance, opposite right below. Where foxes roam. Among quaint lavender fields and glittering streams of water, a 17th century manor sits with pride. Its well-furnished interiors are graced with the talented stylings of one interior designer who has chosen to make this region of France his home, a beautiful place with a rich past. The salon originally had pine-clad vaulted ceilings, which David Hare decided to lower. Why would you lower vaulted ceilings? I don't know. I never see that. I see people wanting to vault their ceilings. That's so funny. But I guess he didn't want them vaulted. That's okay. The walls are painted in a fresco effect using a custom mixed color found throughout the house. Its look differs depending on the light in each room, but makes for a perfect background to display the designer's diverse collections. Some more beautiful terrines. This page, so here, the dining room boasts a Louis, I don't know what number that is, style table dressed with crystal, flutes, and glasses. Limoges porcelain and a bouquet of Queen Elizabeth's roses. The latter were planted by the previous owners of the late monarch's coronation, a truly precious bloom. So I wonder if that's Haviland China then, because it says Limoges porcelain, so, and that's what Haviland China is. Which, obviously I did a video about that. But anyway. So below left, this collection of Staffordshire pottery was inherited from David's great aunt. So this right here. And what's interesting is I just this morning recorded a video, and for the video for this Sunday, and I have a tiny little item that is Staffordshire china. So anyway, you'll have to watch the video on Sunday to see what that little item is. But anyway, I found it when I was at a thrift store, of all places. So above left, the Louis bracket clock hanging beside this bust is said to have a delightful musical chime so long as its owner remembers to wind the device. In the guest house, sunshine hues and a mix of simple patterns adorn a Louis I'm going to guess, is that 16? Louis the 16th bed. I'm just going to guess at that Roman numeral. It's XVI. I think that's 16. Above the headboard hangs a pair of paintings copied from a fragment of antique wallpaper. Gilded details. Praised as the grandest of the French chateaux, the Palace of Versailles offers an abundance of splendor in each room. From floor to ceiling, luxury and artistry abound, and one must look heavenward so as not to miss a single detail. I believe that's a painting of, oh, I could be wrong. What's her name? Let Them Eat Cake. Marie Antoinette, I believe. Le Petit Chateau. An emerald paradise winding its way through the French countryside, the Loire Valley is renowned as a crown of beauty brimming with more than 300 gemstones, magnificent and storied chateaux beckoning visitors from around the world to experience their grandeur. The smallest of these castles offers not only a heritage of its own, but also a collection of artifacts that make it a living museum among the Loire legends. Above right, should be here, the leftmost tower, which stands above the chapel, boasts a bell inspired by those at Chateau de Chambord. Its clock is particularly unique in that it only has one hand, which, along with the surrounding pastoral landscape, perhaps suggests that life at Troussay ought to be slow and calm. Below right, in the dining room, a bronze bust of Jean de Morvilliers, Bishop of Orleans, sits above a Latin inscription encouraging the observer to be the imitator of such a great man. Above right, the drawing room was changed to take an oval shape in the 1700s for purposes of fashion and entertaining. Here, a marble Louis XV period fireplace and velvet armchair are among the decor that evoke 18th century style. From Hands of the Weaver. The word tapestry may call to mind medieval fortresses of stone warmed by large hanging textile scenes, and yet the art form has a far richer heritage, especially in the Gallic region, where Aubusson is still renowned as the highest quality. So there's a mosquito buzzing around. There's a mosquito buzzing around my head. Hold on just a second. Oh my goodness. That mosquito was incessant. I still haven't killed it, but it is buzzing around. It landed on my ear. And yeah, I can just hear it buzzing around my head and I cannot get it. So hopefully he just goes away, because it's going to drive me crazy. Anyway. So opposite and this page, above right, here, wall hangings are what commonly come to mind when using the word tapestry, but the art form extends elsewhere, adorning the home in rugs or upholstered furniture as well. Time unfolds beauty, wonder, and mystery to reveal the auspicious tapestry of life. A.D. Posey. Above, left, below, and opposite, wall tapestries often depict scenes that tell a story, but specific imagery also makes its way into the textiles of furniture. These chairs feature natural themes such as flowers and birds. So above right, this one here, as with most of the textile art featuring the family's crests, the upholstery on this prie-dieu, I don't know how to pronounce that, in the chapel of Chateau de la Villa de Bois would have been crafted by the individuals of the household. This place of kneeling for prayer was common in the homes of nobility at the time, as well as a few reserved by name in the local church. Smaller stools with embroidered monograms are also kept in the chapel. Kept in the chapel today, while chairs of more casual daily use can be found throughout the house. From Portugal with love. The sun glints upon the azure waters of the Atlantic Ocean and casts a golden glow across the country. From verdant valleys and terracotta roofs to colorful ceramic tiles and fuchsia, I don't know that word. Portugal is awash in gentle hues that reflect its rich heritage. I'm going to guess so it's fuchsia, bougainvillea. I don't know. Oh, that is so pretty. That blue and white. Artisanal luxury. For more than a century, the secrets to creating fine leather goods passed down among generations of Renards. With renowned craftsmanship and elegance, the family's eponymous brand outfits customers with beautiful pieces made to be admired. Brushed with early summer sunlight, this picturesque manor, situated on a vast expanse of age-old woods, just 2 hours away from the City of Light, stands ready to offer a respite to all those seeking an Arcadian escape. And I'm pretty sure the City of Light is Paris, when they say the City of Light. Splendor on the lake. Amidst the tranquil backdrop of one of the most magical regions in France, a luxuriant hotel casts its spell to provide a peaceful sanctuary where time seems to melt away and nature sings her exultant song. Very cool fireplace. Lots of roses and lavender, it looks like. Clockwise from left, a pleasant breeze drifts through an open door, drawing visitors to the wealth of outdoor pleasures found upon the estate. Spirits are uplifted by a stroll through sweetly perfumed gardens, accented by trickling fountains and ethereal arbors that suggest the passageway to worlds gone by. Songbirds trill from hidden perches upon the shady banks as an afternoon is leisurely whiled away, rowing across tranquil waters. This is very pretty. Very pretty. Fair to remember. Reminiscences of the cuisine writer-in-residence Jennifer L. Scott enjoyed while studying abroad influenced chefs in the Victoria test kitchens to develop a Gallic menu worth sharing alongside reflections of that blissful season. and here's another tureen. So here we have the food and recipes in the magazine. Food is culture, habit, craving, and identity. If your food is presented beautifully, you are more likely to pause and appreciate it. Jennifer L. Scott. Which is actually very true. So here's the recipe index. You've got strawberry rhubarb lemonade, mixed salad in Parmesan nests, ham and cheese mini croissants, spring fruit verrines, white chocolate mousse cups, soup au pistou, and white fish with Gruyere Blanc, white wine braised endive with rye breadcrumbs, pan-seared asparagus with browned butter and toasted hazelnuts, tarte aux fraises, pâte sucrée. This is a type of pie crust I always make for my pie crusts during the holidays. Pâte brisée. So this one, they're both butter pie crusts. But it's interesting because this one has, let's see, it has an egg in it, and it also has a lot of, way more sugar. So it has 1/3 of a cup of confectioner's sugar. So the pâte brisée is butter. There's I think 1 tablespoon of sugar, tiny bit of salt, and then of course flour, and then ice cold water. So this is interesting. I kind of want to try that. So I think we have come to the end of the magazine. So, very fun. Well, I really hope that you enjoyed this ASMR video. If you did, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give this video a like and share it with somebody else you think would enjoy it. And I will talk to you in the next video.